All right, what's going on? You listen to King Cam Ujumbe Podcast, Ujumbe means message. And yes, this is something special. This is something special. We're gonna have a little fun today. I'm excited about it. I'm always excited about things, but I hope all is well with you. Get something to write on, something to write with. Today, we're gonna talk about the guardians of the afterlife. Yep. Yeah, we're going to talk about the guardians of the afterlife, secrets of the four sons of Horus in ancient Egypt. Yeah, we're on that kind of time today. Get you something to write on, something to write with. Don't forget to hit the like button. Greet everybody as you come in if you are here with us, and show some love on the replay. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the guardians of the afterlife, secrets of the four sons of Horus in ancient Egypt. Yeah. This is get this. This is bonus content because today I was not going to. I had no intention of doing anything. But shout out to the Ujumbe members. Shout out to Sister Abina Scott, Brother Mo. Shout out to Brother Mo. He is doing some. He's kind of been quiet the last couple of weeks because he's been doing some studying and he's trying to level up in his career. So yeah, shout out to Brother Mo and Brother Isu and One Voice Africa. Shout out to the Ujumbe fam. They made it possible for us to do this bonus session here. And so yeah, we're gonna get into it. So this is the bonus content here. I would like to greet everybody peace. Tonight we're gonna step beyond, say, the norm. We're gonna go beyond the golden sands in a sense, past the temples and past the markets and past everything in ancient Kemet into the dark corners. Yeah. Where silence is perfected and understood. Yeah, where the silence of the tombs is respected, where the place and the realms of the ancestors are being held and loved. Greetings, Miss Blue. What's going on? She is greeting everybody. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, but here in the shadows, this is where the light begins, right? In the shadows, we are not by ourselves. We're not alone. We have four figures that stand watch, four, in a sense, energies, four Netaru, four brothers, not of flesh, but of divine essence, right? The sons of Haru. They're the guardians of the embalmed organ scientifically. They are also the cosmic principles, the four anchors of the soul's safe passage. Yeah. Yeah, they guarded not only say the kings, but the balance of the cosmos in and of itself on the other side of this thing. See what I'm saying? We tend to forget. We tend to forget that there's balance not just in the physical plane, but there's also imbalance in the spiritual plane. All right. So, and here is where the mystery is. Here's where the understanding is. Their presence is in a sense, not only say in the past, but their energy and presence echoes across the cultures, across time, across continents. If you know their names, if you understand their roles, they can guard you too. See what I'm saying? And remember, in the Book of Gates, greetings, Sister Linda, greetings, Auntie Linda. What's going on? She's greeting everybody. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Sister Linda, for coming. All right. So yeah. If you understand that they are part of your, in a sense, spiritual ancestry also, right? So before we can begin, drop in the chat where you're from. Okay, hit the like button and let us know where you're from, because to understand, we are almost everywhere. God, we are in Africa now. The Ujumbe podcast is heard in Canada. It's heard all over the United States. It's heard in Saudi Arabia, in the UK. Let me know where you're from. All right. And as we explore these mysteries tonight, let's deal with that. Let's focus on that and hit the like button. And of course, share the live link. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. Yeah, this is bonus content, and so this is where our four pillars are. Pillar one, of course, Ethiopia, the source and sanctuary. Pillar two, Kemet, the blueprint of sacred civilization. Pillar three, Qebehsenuef, the corridor of continuity. This is where we are. We're on pillar four, the hidden codes, spiritual science, symbols, and esoteric legacy of Africa. Yeah, here's the questions. All right, who were the four sons of Horus, and why were they essential to the soul's journey into ancient Egypt, or into the Duat? My mistake, into the Duat. What did each son protect, And what does the protection symbolize for our inner life journey today? And how do the Four Sons of Haru connect to the universal archetypes and the global four guardians pattern? Because there's some other four guardians in other cultures that we may have to address, right? What can we learn from those guardians about protecting our own spirit, protecting our own peace, our own truth and legacy? All right, so today we're going to set the stage. We're going to talk about death and the afterlife in Kemet. We're going to meet the Four Sons of Horus, the sons, and we're going to talk about the spiritual system. There, everything is some kind of spirituality, some kind of process, right? We're also going to talk about cross-cultural connections, the legacies of the Four Sons of Haru, Ujumbe member shout-outs. We're going to check roll, and we're going to do Q&A. All right, let's get it. Now, get this. In transition or death in ancient Kemet wasn't say the end. It was called, like Dr. Ben, it was called westing. Okay, traveling into the Duat, traveling to the land of the west where Ra sails through those gates, right? And we talked about that. There's three parts of in this, get this. There are parts of the soul according to Kemetic science. Okay, here's three. Here's some of them. The Ket, which is the body, the Sa, the spiritual body. Now, get this, y'all. The Sa, we heard that word before. The Sa dealing with the stars. Okay, the Sa-U, right? That is part, when they say the Sa, they're not just talking about the star, they're talking about you. You are a star, according to Kemetic knowledge. And then we have the name, the Ren, the name or the identity, right? And so get this, though. Get this. The reason why names are used over and over again in Kemetic culture and even African American culture, where they name their sons and their daughters after their ancestors, and so they can always be remembered and their name can always be called. See what I'm saying? They're basically calling them into existence, calling that power forward, bringing it forward. All right. So we have the Ket, the Sa, the Ren, also the Ka. The Ka is the life force that's needed for offerings and sustenance. The Ba, the personality, the essence, able to travel between the tomb and the living world. When they the Ba, and I love this game. I love video games, but one of my favorite is Assassin's Creed Origins. And if you ever get into that, and if you ever get into that DLC with the Curse of the Pharaohs and everything, it really opens that up. It really breaks that down. I'm just saying. And it gets into the Duat and everything. So, and the Ba traverses from the ancestral plane into the physical plane and in the Ab or the heart. Okay. So we have the Ket, the Sa, the Ren, the Ka, Ba, and the Ab. And speaking of, shout out to Baba Yakya. He's a great one of my great teachers. I really have high regard and love and respect for him. And guess what? He's gonna come to the show and he's gonna break down the Ka and the Ba from his perspective. Yeah, I'm going. I can't wait to hear this. I'm gonna let our beloved Elder Yahya Shabaka from out there in Morocco. He's going to break down the science of the Ka and the Ba in about another week. I'm excited, and it's really a blessing. Why? Because he's going to break it down from a linguistic standpoint, and because there's a lot of things he studied in Arabic where he sees that information on the Ka and the Ba. I'm excited. All right. So let's get it. And did you know, get this, did you know that the Ba, this person here is the physical or the humanoid form of the Ba? I didn't know that there was, I thought it was just a bird, but it can, in some traditions, it can be in the form of the other person. Also, you notice, look at this. You see the Ka, the extended hands, and the Ba, and also in his, in his left hand, you see the feather of Ma'at and life in his hands. Yeah. So did you know that the Ba was a physical can be a physical manifestation of a person, not just a bird? All right, let me know. All right, let's go. And then we have these Shuyet, the Shuyet or the shadow. Okay, the Shechem or the power, Shechem. Okay, Shechem, the power, and then the Ankh, which is the transfigured spirit united in with the imperishable stars after successful judgment, which we may get into a little bit later, deal with the judgment halls of the Duat and everything. But yeah, the Ankh is that in a sense, from a modern standpoint, that glorified state of that new spirit that reconnects to that person, that star that connects to that person. See what I'm saying? And so yeah, there are nine. Let me see. There are 9 parts of the soul: the Ket, the Sa, according to Kemetic science. The Ket, the Sa, the Ren, the Ka, the Ba. Shout out to Yaki Ashabaka. He's coming out to break that down to the Ah, which is the heart, and Suyet and Sekhem and Ak. All right. So get this: preserving the body in Kemetic science, preserving the body is really preserving the Ka's home. That's why, and the thing is, that's why it's important for us to take care of our bodies here. Like, watch what we eat, watch what we do, right? If the Ka couldn't recognize his vessel, the soul would wander forever. Yeah. And that's another reason why in the meta nature, you see them more in a full body stance where they see the entire body of that person. Why? Because the ancestors had to recognize this person. You see what I'm saying? And so the canopic jars were containers, and they were sacred talismans in a sense. You see what I'm saying? And so each jar had a lid shaped like one of the sons of Heru, imbued with the protection of the goddess who guarded him. You see what I'm saying? And so why? But the question is though, why 4? Now, I love the Mummy, right? Who's seen the movie? Who's seen the matter of fact? Like a comment. Have you ever seen that movie, The Mummy, that came out back in the day, like in 1999, where the Mummy came out and he was terrorizing everybody, Imhotep, and then it was all over the place. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. We had Imhotep. It crossed so many timelines, but still, it was. Yeah, the story was great, right? I was like 19, you see what I'm saying? But yeah, yeah. And so it had 5 canopic jars, according to Kemetic history and Kemetic science, it's only 4. But yeah, it had Imhotep and then Seti the first and Moon, which is King Tut's, I think King Tut's wife. It was Seti, one dynasty. Imhotep is doggone Old Kingdom. It was all over the place, but still, it was pretty cool. All right. so yeah, you guys found out that King Cam likes to play video games and he watches movies. Sometimes we gotta relax. All right. All right. Let me see who the fam came in. Yeah. Enough is enough. I say, my people, what's going on? Enough is enough. Shout out to the fam. Don't forget to greet everybody and hit the like button as you come in. But yeah, I'm telling you, the Mummy movie had 5 canopic jars, but still, I enjoyed the movie. Let's get it. Let's go. And so, but now but why 4? Why 4? You see what I'm saying? 4, in a sense, represents the cosmic square. Okay, the 4 pillars of the sky held by Shu, the 4 winds, and then, because I don't have the picture here, but we have Geb, which is the earth, and Nut, which is the sky, but in between is Shu, which is the air, which is the winds. Of the 4 winds, the 4 cardinal principles, the 4 cardinal points, and 4 directions of the sky's daily journey. And so, but get this though, we will deal with the science of the number 4 a little bit later. You see what I'm saying? But remember though, Horus or Heru, he was the elder of the sky. His sons acted as sentinels or representatives at the 4 corners of creation, right? And so get this though, in the sacred text, it says this in the book of Coming Forth by Day. It says, "Hail to you, sons of Heru." This is book of Coming Forth by Day, number 151. Okay, it says, "Hail to you, sons of Heru, who guard the organs of Osiris, who stand at the 4 corners of the sky, who ward off the evil that would come against the justified." Right. So get this: each son was a guardian of an organ and a dimension in and of itself. Each one of them represented some form of space and time. Okay, the liver, the lungs, the stomach, the intestines, it wasn't random. Okay, and then let me I'm gonna say this is not even in my notes, but check this out. Scientifically, each one. Let me remove this. Scientifically, each one of these organs, upon passing, dissolves and decays fast, and they decay first. And so our ancestors already understood that kind of science, and so they went on and took them, and they wanted them to be preserved also. Okay, why? Because each one of them is linked to an emotional, energetic, and spiritual process that ancestor needed. See what I'm saying? All right. Now, so imagine if you were, say, preparing for time and eternity. One thing, an object, a word, or feeling would be preserved for you, for your car to draw upon. What would that be? What would, if you had a story to tell and you wanted your car or and your people to tell that story, what would it be? Would it be about art? Would it be music? Let me know. Type, like, and comment below. What would that story be? See what I'm saying? Because we all have one. All right. Let's go. Now, if you are enjoying the content, by the way, if you are enjoying the content, like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. You see what I'm saying? Because yeah, we're gonna go a little bit further into this bonus content. Shout out to the Ujumbe members who made this possible. But yeah, if you are enjoying this, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get it. Now, so set the stage. Now, in a minute, we're gonna meet the four sons of Horus. The sons, and we're going to deal with the spiritual system. We're going to deal with some cross-cultural connections, the legacy of the Sons of Horus, Ujumbe member shout-outs, check and roll, and I think we got a bonus. It's not on here, but yeah, I think we got a bonus. You know, I had to do it. You know, shoot, if you're going to come out with bonus content, I might as well make it really good, right? Let's go. So we're going to meet the four sons of Horus, not the Shemsu Horus. The Shemsu Horus were the 40 to 43 followers of Horus who were unnamed, but they was very important. They were the kings before the pre-dynastic era. This is not them, okay? This is the four sons of Horus. All right, so here we go. We have the first one, Imsety, the human-headed protector of the liver. Now, his direction, his cardinal point is the south, okay? His cardinal point is the south, the source of the Nile's living waters. Remember, Kemetic culture came from the south, right? And the Neteru, or the deity, or the goddess that connects to him, is Isis, or Aset, the healer, the protector of the ancestors. Okay, and the organ, of course, is the liver. In Egyptian medicine, linked to vitality, memory, and emotion. All right. It is designed to preserve lineage, compassion, and generational wisdom. Okay. And so get this, in the spiritual principle, this is cause you to remember who you are and where you come from. You see what I'm saying? You need that. You need to know who you are and where you come from. In your journey, you always need to maintain that. Okay, and it says in the coffin text, spell 148, says, I am Imsety, the protector of protector. I protect your liver so that you may stand in the court of justice whole in memory and name. And so, and get this, y'all, and of course we know you guys are very intelligent and really deep into this. The liver, of course, filters the blood. So in this sense, it filters that spirit, the spirituality. It filters your ancestral current. So that's Imsety, all right? Then we have Hapi, the baboon-headed protector of the lungs. Now, he guards the north. So we had Imsety that was in the south, and then Hapi, he guards the north. Cool winds for the Mediterranean. And this is summertime, I think we need that right by now. And get this, the Neteru that connects to him is Nephthys, the guardian of the hidden. Now, you will see that. I don't have a picture here, but you will see her winged. If you've seen like the sarcophagus or the chest where King Tutankhamun was laid to rest in, his coffin was placed. You see this wing Neteru, this female figure that had wings. That was Nephthys protecting the hidden. Tutankhamun, he became the hidden one, right? And so the organs, the lungs, the breath, as divine spark, the shu, and the Neteru of the air. Of course, breath, the breath of truth, the baboon form links him to Tahuti, the scribe of Ma'at. So you need to breathe in and out wisdom, breathe in and out truth, because Hapi is there. You see what I'm saying? You got to speak the truth and exhale falsehood. This is part of, I think, Baba Yaka, he discussed he kind of touched on the 42 negative confessions and everything. Being truthful is part of it. Okay. The book of coming forth by day said this: I am happy who comes forth from the north wind, giving breath to the nostrils of the justified. Now, breath is life. We need that. And controlling the breath, it controls your spirit, controls your it also can control your emotions. Because sometimes we are, be honest, sometimes we are straight up crash outs. And sometimes we have to take that time out to breathe, to see what's going on, right? It teaches us, Hapi teaches us conscious speech and thought. Know what we're doing and where we're going. So Imsety represents the south, Hapi represents the north. Then we have Duamutef. And remember the D it sounds more like the J in the English language. Duamutef. Okay, the jackal-headed protector of the stomach. Okay, King Cam had some stomach issues a few days ago, and I got man, yeah. Watch what you eat. Pay attention. You understand me? So, but he represented the east, the sunrise, and renewal, right? And he was linked to Net, the primordial mother, the goddess of the creation, and the Neteru of war, the stomach, the site of digestion and assimilation. Okay, you are what you eat. And also, it represents discernment, guarding against spiritual poison, right? Sometimes, when we enter a room or enter in a space, sometimes, it's not right. And we may have to leave. What's Library Without Borders? What's going on? Shout out to the fam in Canada. Okay, she says hi, King. Okay, yeah, you're gonna love this one. Okay, just in time. You're not late. Well, I'm not, kind of, sort of, but you're just in time for the good stuff. What's going on? All right, yeah, Duamutef, the jackal-headed Neteru, the protector of the stomach. It talked about discernment. We got to use common sense. Even though I'm gonna say this, even though common sense is a flower that's not in everybody's garden. I get it. But those who are aware and alert need to use some discernment and common sense. And so we have to be mindful of what we ingest physically, because he protected the stomach, right? We got to be mindful of what we ingest physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I have to, as a mentor teacher, I have to tell my new teachers to don't take on everything, or don't take on everybody's issue or everything that everybody else is bringing. I tell them that jacket is not yours. It don't belong to you. Take that off and do what you're supposed to do, right? And so, yes, we got to be mindful of what we take in, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And so, get this though, the pyramid text talks about him. It says, I am Duamutef. He said, I'm here finally. But Brother Joseph, get this, Brother Mo is going to be sick. Because I got something for him. What's going on, Brother Ferguson? And thank you for reaching out. All is well. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk about a little bit more about that in a second. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Brother Joe. I appreciate you. And so, yeah, it says, I am Duamutef, guarding your body from all that were corrupted, that you may rise renewed. Yeah. And so the jackal links to Anubis or Nupu. Duamutef stands at the threshold between purity and corruption. Yeah, because speaking of Anubis, we got something for you. Yeah. Hey, I got time. I decided to start a little bit earlier because Sister Haynes said it was like a school night. So guess what? we started an hour early. You understand me? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got to do this. We got to do it. Yeah. He said, poor Brother Mo. Yeah. So, but yeah, it links to Anubis, and we got something on Anubis really quick though. But now we have Qebehsenuef, the falcon-headed protector of the intestines. So he stands at the west gate. the land of the setting sun, the realm of the ancestors. He is linked to Serket, the goddess of purification and Venom's transformation. The organ, and the thing about the intestines does filter out a lot of impurities also, right? The final process and the release of waste scientifically symbolizes the purification of wisdom from trials. What did you learn from this? And the reason why we go through some things over and over again is because we have not learned from that lesson. What lesson we need to learn in this situation, right? And we have to let go and move forward. The intestine, let it go, right? Yeah, you got to do that. And so in the book of Coming Forward by Day, it says, I am Qebehsenuef. I have come to purify what is within you, that you may journey unburdened. That's what it's about. If anybody want to know about what, say, Kemetic science, or African cosmology, or anything like that, if African history, if you want to know what it's about, it is basically to purify what is within you, that you may take the journey unburdened. We don't need to carry all this forever, all this trauma, all these say past hurt, and all. We got to move forward, right? Yeah, we got to keep it moving. And so my question though, before we go further, which garden speaks to you? Which one did you like? Did you like Imsety? Did you like Hapi? Did you like let me see how I want to pronounce it, Duamutef? Or did you like Qebehsenuef? Let me know. All right, like and comment below. But now, before we move on, though, the falcon represents vision. He sees what must be released for the soul's ascension. Okay? All right. Let's get it. Now, there is also the four sons. These sons represent a spiritual system. Yep, they do. These sons represent a spiritual system, a process. Everything is a process, Brother Ferguson. Everything is a journey. Library Without Borders. You see what I'm saying? And so, but before I get into that, I got a question. I got a question. All right. Drum circles or griot or jelly storytelling, griot storytelling. Like and comment below. Are you into drum circles or griot storytelling? Fun fact, I did play drums in school and I enjoy drum circles, but it's something about telling a story that resonates with me. All right. What do y'all think? Like and comment below. Drum circles or storytelling. All right, let's get it. Now, the sons as a spiritual system. I told you I was going to come back to that science, that science of the number 4, right? So here it is. We got 4 directions. Okay. Enough is enough. Say I play drums as well. Yeah. Drums is something, and I and just thinking about it, sometimes you get into that zone to where when you're playing, you are in that space between spaces. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a gift. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So 4 directions, the 4 pillars of the soul's house: the south, which was memory, lineage; the north, which is truth, the breath; east, which is discernment and protection; west, purification. And we also have the 4 elements right here. Yeah, drum circles. Yeah, and we also have the 4 elements. Imsety, he represents the earth, roots, stability. Right? Hapi represents the air. Okay, breath and the truth. Duamutef represents the fire, the burning away of corruption. And then Qebehsenuef, water, the purification and flow of life. And check this out. There is a section in Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. Hold on. I gotta get this. Now, there is a section, there's a part in Stolen Legacy. All right, where George G.M. James breaks down each Netaru and they represent an element. You see what I'm saying? And when I got it, I think I had it. Yeah, bear with me. I had diagrams and everything. So, but yeah, it is in this book, Stolen Legacy. If I have time to find it, I'm gonna get back to it. But yeah, in the book Stolen Legacy, he breaks down each Netaru that represents an element and a cardinal point. See what I'm saying? So when I tell you this all is connected, when I tell you everything is connected one way or the other, it is. Miss Blue says Griot. Yeah, story time. Yeah. So we have and remember the body is seen as a temple. Every organ is a shrine. The sons are temple priests guarding the sacred spaces within. But get this, we talked about the Karnak complex. We talked about the Karnak. We talked about how each part represented the body of a man, right? And remember, the bottom represents the feet, right? The bottom represents the feet. This section here represented the lungs, the heart, and then we had the Jesseru or Holy of Holies, right? And so these temples of Karnak, remember, they're dedicated to Amun or Ra. And Baba Yakia, he really got into detail about that, saying Ra is the hidden one in their term, in their language, right? The hidden, the revealed, and revealed son. Karnak had a vast layout encoded, say, in solar theology and royal legitimacy. And it also, get this, it had the sacred lake. We discussed that, right? And the hypostel hall, which represented the lungs, and that all these things represented the body of a person. You see what I'm saying? And so check it out. We talked about that a few weeks ago. Temple complex and the majestic gateway from Karnak to Hatshepsut's divine blueprint. We broke this down. All right. I ain't got time to break that down today because I got something else. For you. I can't stay here. But just know that every temple in Kemet as well as in Nubia was designed to represent the body of a human being. Okay. All right. Let's get it. Now, it also represents protective magic amulets shaped as each sun were placed over the body. Their names were spoken in the opening of the mouth ceremony. You see what I'm saying? This is one of the images here. You see Anubis or Anupu holding up the ancestor, and they are doing the opening of the mouth ceremony. But it also reminds me of something modern. Yeah, for those who are in the States, for those who are especially in the South, I noticed the last decade there's some form of modern day opening of the mouth ceremony at fumes, not funerals. We say fumes. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just wondering because they have that crown thing that they do towards the end of the funeral. I wonder, is that the modern day opening of the mouth ceremony? Do you think, let me know, do you think this is a cultural callback to what our ancestors used to do? Like and comment below. Do you see some kind of similarity here? Okay, some people, especially people who are outside of this culture, may say no, but I see some resemblance here. Let me know. Like and comment below. All right, now, but dealing with Anubis and the ancestors, we're gonna give it that in a minute. We're gonna come back to that later. All right, hold on. Now, also, okay, we have some Nubian parallels also. In Kushite burials, directional guardians and fourfold symbolism appear showing shared Nile Valley cosmology. I told you many times before that the Kemetic culture was part of the African culture as a whole, and the Nile Valley connected all of them. It connected Ethiopia, it connected Kush and Kemet. Yeah. Let me see what the fan was saying. Let me see. Yeah. What's going on, Hoop Daddy? He said peace, P-E-A-C-E. What do you think of this is olfactory bulb with the temples and body representation? Olfactory bulb. got me on that. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that term, but I'm saying that in essence, the entire temple represented the body of a person. Okay, and so from the foot all the way to the head, even into the mind. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, but I don't know what all factory. Somebody help me out what that means. Let me know what that means. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna front. Look, I like history, but when you get into forensics and anatomy and physiology, I don't know. Man. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. But yeah, but yes, there is some interesting comparison. There is interesting comparison about how, especially in the South, how they do the crowning ceremony at the end of a funeral. It kind of reminds me of the opening of the mouth in Kemet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Body's human body. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, we'll get to Anubis later. But yeah, there's a Nubian parallel. But Library Without Borders, check this out. There's some cross-cultural connection because we got the Dogon here, we got the Akon Yoruba systems maintain the fourfold balance principle. Guardians also, they also have cardinal points protecting the center, which is the soul. Well, hold on, we're gonna get to that in a second though. But now, so we're setting the stage. We set the stage. We meet the four sons of Heru, the sons of the spiritual system, cross-cultural connection, legacy of the sons of Heru, Ujumbe member shout outs, check and roll, and I think we got some bonus content though. If we're gonna, this is already a bonus. This is a bonus episode. Might as well add something to it, right? Let's go. Now, cross-cultural connections. Okay, of course we know we have the Dogon. Okay, the Nomo twins as cosmic guardians of creation and balance, which is Ma'at, right? And we also have the Yoruba Orisha parallel. That is heavy. I'm not even gonna hold you. That the connection with the Yoruba pantheon and Kemet, yeah, that's heavy. And so the Yoruba Orisha parallels, they have four corner Orisha surrounding the sacred center: Ogun, which is in the east, Shango, which is the north, Yimoja, the west, and Obatala, which is the south. But get this though, we also have the Congo and Kemet shared divinities and shared currents, where we had the discussion where you see that continuity, that connection with Ra and the hidden one, and also the Kalunga line. Shout out to Library Without Borders. We broke this down. We talked about the Bakongo cosmogram and how Amun and Ra represented that. All right, but get this though. Shout out to Tianis Telemon. He said, since we were dealing with this, since we dealt with the Congo and Kemet reflections and everything, that's the question. I hope you do one on how Nigeria is connected to Kemet. Yeah. 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 The fam is asking. So so Library Without Borders made a humble request, and somebody else is asking us to do one about how Nigeria is connected to Kemet. Shout out to TNS Tillman. Yeah, like and type Yoruba in the comments or in the chat if you want me to do an episode connecting the Yoruba or Nigeria with Kemet or the Nile Valley as a whole, because some people out there like to be really specific, talking about, well, the Yoruba is not specifically connected to Kemet. Okay, forget it. Nile Valley culture. All right. If you want me to go and do that one, like and comment below. Let me know. I want to hear this because we already got, because we have to do that discussion about the Nubians that schooled Howard Carter about the knowledge of King Tut. I have forgot about that one. All right, let's go. But now there's biblical cherubim and Ezekiel's vision. Yeah, there's four creatures: the man, the lion, the ox, and the eagle surrounding the divine throne. Also, I know this is not a theology class, but in the book of Revelation, see the four, you see the number 4, and those four, those angels also in that also. But get this though, it's not here, but I think I may have a little bit later on. But there's 4 canopic jars right in front of Osiris. Yeah, so there's some similarities in those cultures, in that information. Yeah. He said, "Who that's in Nigeria, Yoruba would be real good." Is there another? Type in Yoruba. Let me know if you want me to make that connection. All right, let me know, because I don't want to make something y'all not interested in. See what I'm saying? We ain't doing that. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. I ain't here for wasting folk time. Let's go. So, and also in China, they have the 4 heavenly kings, the guardians of the 4 quarters, each protecting a virtue. I'm not an expert in that, but this is what I found. But we can't help but notice a pattern recognition across continents, across cultures. There is the 4 guardians theme. You see it repeated over and over again, suggesting a deep, ancient, and shared spiritual sentiment, right? And so, but I gotta say, the Nile Valley is the mother of them all. And so, is this shared ancient wisdom or just coincidence? I think it is shared ancient wisdom, and everybody got their knowledge one way or the other from the Nile Valley culture. What's going on, Soul Zen? Shout out to the fam. What's going on? Yeah. All right, and she got a great shopping page. Check her out. Check her out on YouTube. She's great. Soul Zen. She does a lot of shopping and everything. A lot of fun. Now I can't shop like that, but pretty cool. All right. Now, let's get it. The legacy of the sons of Horus. Now, we notice when we discuss, we see it everywhere in almost every place. We see the guardian angels. Matter of fact, in the Coptic church, we talked about the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo Church and the Coptic church about a few weeks ago. And the Coptic church, you see that influence, right? With the guardian angels at the 4 corners of Christian iconography. You see that. And in the African diaspora, you see the 4 corner altar setups in, say, Vundun, in Hoodoo and Palo, right? You see that. Also in modern spirit, in modern sense, right? Imsety, he's basically asking us to remember our roots, remember who we are. Hapi, telling us to speak the truth. Duamutef tells guard what you consume, be it physically, mentally, and emotionally. And Qebehsenuef, release the unnecessary, right? And so the sons of Horus were more than, say, funerary ornaments. They are living forces of protection and balance. So their story is our story, in my opinion. For our journey of the soul, in a sense, is connected to them. And so we're gonna. I really. Oh, thank you, Sozin. Thank you. She gave a I think it's a super chat. I really appreciate it. She says you love her channel. I really appreciate you guys for a point. This is bonus content, by the way. I did not have any intention of coming out today. So I'm saying, school just started last week, and I'm doing teacher stuff. But the Ujumbe fam and people that support the channel, I had to do something for the fam. So yeah, we got to deal with some other stuff. We got to deal with the Hall of Two Truths, the weighing of the heart, and all these things. We got to deal with that, right? And so, but get this though, yeah, we're gonna talk about the twin sphinx. All right, we're gonna talk about that next week. Next week, we're gonna talk about the twin sphinx or mysteries, the ancient guardians of the horizon, and the hidden code. I read something. Okay, I read in the. I looked at the dream stele about Tutmosis Jehuti-Mesu IV. I looked at the dream stele, and it had 2 Haru and Maquette. He had 2 sphinxes. I want to know what's that about, right? I want to know. And so, and also, I keep seeing this. This is an awesome representation here. Okay, Brother Mo's gonna be sick. It is what it is, bro. Sorry, Brother Ferguson, I got to do it. This is another representation of the 2 sphinxes here. I love this design here. It has life right in the middle. It has Heteru right here. Okay, we have a worshiper here or somebody meditating and praying or whatever. And we have the physical representation of the Haru and Maquette. We have one that's looking at the past. Then one is looking forward into the future. I had to break something down. I couldn't help it. I had to break down some kind of science. I had to break down some kind of science. I had to do it. I couldn't help myself. Yeah, hope that is a yeah. And in the middle, that is the Akhet. That is the horizon. You see what I'm saying? They're looking at the past, looking at the future, but also they're focused right here and now. You see what I'm saying? All right. Just a little bit. But now, and get this though. The Kemetic Nation. We chopped it over the Kemetic Nation a couple of months ago, where they broke down the Jed pillar and everything. The Kemetic Nation is returning. Yeah. Right before I take September off, part of September for the latter part of September, Kemetic Nation is going to come back and talk about the connection between Kush and Kemet and South. Man. Yeah, the Kemetic Nation is coming back, and I'm excited about that, and that's gonna be fun. And so we're gonna chop it up with them. And I forgot some books. Egypt, the book coming for by day, and the Death and Salvation in Ancient Egypt. Check it out. And get this: the complete gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt. Get that. And if you're interested in the ancient pyramid text or the coffin text, get this book. All right, R.O. Faulkner. The coffin text though is a pretty penny. I'm not gonna lie to you, but the affiliate links are in the description. Check it out. But here's our book. We're dealing with this on Thursdays or every other Thursday. We're breaking down Ethiopians in History by Richard Pankhurst. That's our book. And the thing is, yes, I like to get into Kemetic science. I like to get into symbolism and everything, but it's all for nothing if we don't connect it with a book or some sort of source of knowledge. And speaking of that, let me get off this screen. Now, I'll get to that in a second. Hold on. But now, I'm doing a roll call. I got to do the roll call. Got to do it. I got to check roll. Right? All right, here it is. First, we got to shout out our beloved Ujumbe members. Okay. Sister Abina Scott. Shout out to Brother Mo. And yeah, Brother Mo, he's putting in work, y'all. He is doing a great job. He's doing some study and research. He's trying to level up in his career, and I can't be mad at him. You see what I'm saying? When it's time to level up, you do that. You see what I'm saying? And so shout out to Brother Mo, but Brother Ferguson, he got a lot of catching up to do. I'm not gonna lie to you. But shout out to Brother Isu, One Voice Africa. I think he's from Canada, so shout out to the fam. And join the membership. You see what I'm saying? Join the Ujumbe membership because they made this bonus episode possible. Join the membership. They get all the detail. They get all the new videos that come out before everybody else. And speaking of that, the members, you got to help me. Next, this fall, should we get into the African origin of civilization by Qebehsenuef Ujumbe, or the Kingdom of Kush, okay, by Derek Welsby? Members, let me know. All right. Let's get it. Now, here we go. Shout out to Tiarka, NBA Studio, Celeste Maram, check and roll, by the way, Taste Quality, Sister Linda, and Baba Yakia Shabaka. Shout out to him. We are going to have a great discussion about the Carnival when he shows up. I'm going to let him cook. I'm gonna let our beloved elder cook. He's an inspiration. He's great. He's awesome. Yeah. All right. Check out the joke. We're gonna see what the membership say. We're gonna see what they say, Library Without Borders. We're gonna see what they say. Because membership has its privileges. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, check out the joke. Okay. I hear you. So Celeste Moreau, Taste Quality, Sister Linda, Baba Yakia, Mia Place, Joan Carmi, Cosmic Sankofa, and the alumni. Shout out to the Ujumbe alumni who's been rolling with us for the last year. Black on Black, shout out to him. King Pharaoh 7683, Valerie J, Spiritual Tune, Jennifer C, Black Buddha. If you are present and I didn't call your name, comment here. All right, comment here. Shout out to Soul Zena for coming through. Check her channel out. Oh, and also check out Baba Yakia's channel, Sister Danita Smith's channel. Okay, they're awesome. All right, so yeah, I really appreciate it. Yeah, Twin Sphinx. Yeah, that's loading. Yeah, but I got something else. Shout out to Firmo, 50% off promo code. These glasses, I got them for Firmo. Get them. 50% off. The promo code is RJQ E50. RJQ E50. Yeah, I'm no problem. Sozi is saying thank you. Said no problem because I if it's good content, it's good content. I'm you know what I'm saying. I don't subscribe to everybody, and I hope you guys are not blindly subscribing or following people. If it's good, it's good. And she has a great shopping channel. She knows all the deals and everything. So, but she does a lot of shopping. I can't do that. But yeah. So now, if you like the content, share it with somebody that may enjoy it or your social media of choice. Check this out. Don't just share it to anybody. You see what I'm saying? That may or may not like it. Share it to somebody that you know that's gonna like it. All right. Now, I got a bonus. I have a bonus. We talked about the Guardians of the Afterlife, the secrets of the Four Sons of Horus. But yeah, hold on. See, I still got some papers. I still got something. Hold on. I had to do it. Yeah, here we go. Anubis speaks. This is the bonus. On top of the bonus. Anubis speaks. We talking about ritual, resurrection, and the Four Sons of Horus. I had to do it. I had to do it for the ancestors and everything. And you know, it's only right. So I had to get down. Let's go. So today, in a sense, or tonight, for the remainder, we're going to talk about the silence of the embalming chamber. But we got to listen carefully, because in that silence there are echoes, there are voices, the voices of priests, the voices of the Neteru, the ancestors, and above all, Anubis or Anupu. All right, the guardian of the ancestors, right? So our focus is, yes, the Four Sons of Horus, the mysterious guardians placed within the body of placed in the deceased, or their organs or the essence is put into canopic jars. And we're going to deal with the esoteric meaning of the mummification process. So we're going to see how the priest transformed this body into that temple, and how Anupu spoke words of power over the ancestors. And how this sacred space was a drama of the Osirian resurrection. So get this, the body as a temple of the cosmos. For the Kemetic people of the Nile Valley culture or the African culture, the body was more than, say, flesh and bone. It was a sacred vessel, a temple built in harmony with the ancestors, with the cosmos. So to embalm and mummify was not necessarily to cling to the past, but to preserve and to restore that divine blueprint that was within that body. See what I'm saying? And so the pyramid text says, you shall not decay, you shall not rot, your flesh shall be like that of the Neteru, enduring forever. Mummification was therefore a spiritual and sacred science, aligning the deceased with eternity, preparing them to rise as an imperishable star, as perfection, right? And so we talked about it before, but the Four Sons of Horus is also the inner guardians. We put the organs in a jar, but they also represent the inside. At the core of this is transformation. It is transformation where the Four Sons of Horus reside. So Imsety, the human-headed guardian of the liver, protected by Isis or Aset. Hapi, the baboon-headed guardian of the lungs, protected by Nephthys. Duamutef, the jackal-headed Neteru, guardian of the stomach, protected by Net. And Qebehsenuef, the falcon-headed guardian of the intestines, and protected by Serket. Each one was more than, say, a protecting the organs, but they safeguarded faculties or aspects of a human's consciousness. The memory, the breath, the nourishment, and renewal. See what I'm saying? And so we're going to get to that priesthood in a second, though. But the coffin text, I didn't have the slide for it. The coffin text says Horus has given you his four sons that they may guard you, so that you live and breathe through them. And they are placed at the corners of the sarcophagus. But also there's been times where they find those four jars on a shelf next to the sarcophagus. and they are the pillars of eternity, in the sense establishing the deceased at the center of the duat, of the cosmos, right? And so now the priests of resurrection, the priesthood, Brother Ferguson, we like to deal with the priesthood and everything. I had to go and do that. I had to go and do that. The embalming was performed by priests who stepped into divine roles. That is a sacred rite, and that is a sacred duty, be it in the ancient past or even in the modern time, to deal with our loved ones like that. That's sacred. And so the Shem priests wore the leopard skin cloak, the spotted pattern symbolizing the stars in the sky. And the priest was one who crossed the boundary between the human and the divine, and his words restored life. It was very silent, but the things that he said had some weight. And in the book of Coming Forth by Day, we can hear this priest speak. He says, I have come as your protector. I have restored to you your mouth that you may speak with the Netaru. Okay. And we also have the hands of Anubis. Now, other priests acted as the hands of Anupu. Their words were not their own, but the Netaru and the ancestors. To wrap the body was to weave divine speech around and around and around the deceased. And of course, the book of Coming Forth by Day explains this. Words spoken are a protection. Words spoken are binding. Our words have power. Words spoken are a sealing against decay. Every layer of linen was cloth and power. But now, let's hear what Anupu has to say. Let's hear what he has to say. In the pyramid text, Anupu, he says, Anubis, this God, the Lord of the divine booth, who is in you, has embalmed you. He has wrapped you with the bandages of Haru or Horus. He has made your body like that of the Netaru. That's the pyramid text. Now, in the book of Coming Forth by Day, it says, I am Anupu, who comes to you. I bandage you with protection. I guard your body entirely. Nothing evil shall come against you. He's there to protect you. For I stand as your shield. And in the coffin text, it says, it is Anubis who speaks. I have come to embalm you, to restore your limbs, to make firm your body, to make you young again forever. Now, this is the voice that filled, say, the mortuary temples, those sacred chambers. It wasn't silence, but it was the ancestors of Anubis speaking to proclaiming resurrection and rebirth. And of course, we have the ritual chamber, the pure, and they call it the place of purity or the pure place. The embalming house or the wabet or pure place was more than, say, a mortuary workshop. It was a womb. And we saw that in Hatshepsut's temple, where when, even though the whole thing was a mortuary complex, but there was one sacred space there. It was designed for that purpose. It was designed to be that womb, to go from Osiris and become Ra or Amun. You see what I'm saying? Become, in a sense, or depends on the era, become Heru into Osiris. Okay, so it was a cosmic womb, a place of primal. It was a reflection of the primeval mound, or the waters of Noon, where creation first began. Every act within the mirror creation, cleansing with natron and separation of chaos and order, anointing with oils, with the infusion of divine essence. Bandaging was weaving together threads and threads and threads of eternity. So to step into the Wabet as a priest, as a Kari Heb, okay, was a step outside of time into the eternal first moment of creation. See what I'm saying? And so the opening of the mouth, the reawakening of the soul. The climax of mummification was the opening of the mouth ritual. The priest touched the mouth and eyes with sacred tools, restoring its senses. But this was more than, say, biology. It was a reanimation of the divine faculties. To speak again as was to command reality. To see again was to behold the light of the hidden one. To breathe again was to share in, say, eternal life. The pyramid text described this moment. Your mouth is opened by Ptah. Your mouth is opened by that with which he opened the mouth of the Netzeru. So the priest's touch was a spark of renewal. And then they represented the four corners of eternity. You see what I'm saying? You see the hall of judgment right here. And we have all the Netzeru. There was 20, I think, to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's 24. You don't see all 24 up here. But we have the scales of Ma'at right there, and you have the heart of the Ab right here, and the feather of justice. And Jehuti is writing everything down. But the four sons of Horus were stationed at the cardinal points: Imsety in the south, Hapi in the north, Duamutef in the east, and Qebehsenuef in the west. Together they formed a protective circle, holding chaos at bay, holding Apet at bay. In this sacred compass, the deceased stood at the center of the cosmos, aligned with Ma'at. I'm telling you guys, if you are into Stargate, check it out. If you are into what else? Assassin's Creed, check out Assassin's Creed Origin, Curse of the Pharaohs. That hits different. It's a great illustration of the Duat, right? Check it out. But the book of coming forth by Yeshua, the four sons of Horus are placed at your sides. They're not there to oppose you. They're there with you. Why? Because your essence is with them. That you may not be touched by evil, that you may not be seized by chaos. And then we have Anubis at the hall of judgment. Even after embalming, Anubis is still there. He doesn't abandon the person. He doesn't abandon the ancestors in the hall of judgment. He weighs the heart against the feather of Ma'at. Of course, it deals with the 42 negative confessions and so on. But the book of coming forth by day includes a prayer that Anubis oversees. He says, "Oh, my heart, which I had from my mother. Oh, my heart of my different ages. Do not stand up against me as a witness. Don't speak against me. Do not oppose me in the tribunal. Do not be hostile against me in the presence of the keeper of the balance." Here, Anubis ensures the balance is fair, that the soul is not betrayed by its own heart. He is a protector, not only the body, but the truth of the soul. And so the esoteric, in a sense, the esoteric message or meaning of, say, mummification is when we listen to these voices, when we listen to the ancestors, we realize mummification was not about transition or death at all. The body was going to be transformed into a divine temple. The four sons of Horus preserved the soul's faculties. The priests became living embodiments of Anubis and Horus. Every bandage or everything was sacred. Okay, it was a sacred word, every ritual and echo of creation, right? And so, and Anubis himself spoke, declaring, "I have come to embalm you, to restore your limbs, to make you young again forever." The process was rebirth, y'all. It passes through chaos into eternal life. So, in a sense, we have the four sons of Horus. We have Anubis. Remind us that protection is not external, but woven into our DNA, woven into our very being. The voice of Anubis reminds us that death, in a sense, is not silence, but a dialogue between the soul and the ancestors in eternity. To stand before a mummy, in a sense, or the canopic jars, or the sons of Horus, is to stand at the threshold of a mystery. Is to hear Anubis whisper across time and saying, "I guard you, I restore you, you should not perish, but rise." This is the secret of the guardians of the afterlife. See what I'm saying? A sacred science of resurrection and wisdom that sought to align the human with the eternal. See what I'm saying? All right. Yeah, that was the bonus. That was the bonus. Listen to King Cam Ujumbe Podcast, Ujumbe Means Message. And we talked about a lot of things. We talked about the guardians, the guardians of the afterlife. We talked about the four sons of Horus. We even talked about Anubis speaks. All right, before because this is a school night. Yeah. on this good Sunday night or whatever. Are there any questions before I let you go? Okay. Are there any questions or anything that you would like for me to address really quick? But check this out. If you want to know more about the Book of Gates, I got a video for you. Check that out. If you want to know about the hidden code, the esoteric knowledge of Kemet and Nile Valley, I got a playlist for you. But before I turn you loose, I know I'm letting y'all out early. But before I let you go, are there any questions or concerns? Before I turn you loose, because I know I'm gonna have try to get Baba Yakya. I'm trying to bring him on. I'm gonna try to bring Command Nation on, and Tony. Oh, I forgot. Shout out to brother Tony Hawkins. Shout out to brother Tony Hawkins. He's gonna tell us his journey to Africa. Were the signs protected by goddesses? Yes, they were. Each one of them, each one of those. That's a good question, Sister Linda. She asked, Auntie asked, were the signs protected by the goddesses? Yes. Each one of those canopic jars was connected to a feminine energy. See what I'm saying? Each one of them were. So I just wrote it down somewhere. But each one of them, of course, Imsety was Aset, okay, and Hapi was Nephthys. Duamutef was Net, and Qebehsenuef was Serket. Okay, yes, they were all connected to a feminine energy, a female form. If there was a male, there had to be a female. You couldn't have one without the other. You couldn't. It was impossible in African custom and Kemetic science. A god needed a goddess, a king needed a queen, and so they needed those. Yes, yeah. Are there any other questions or concerns when I'm trying to find this? Trying to find that site, that part where he break down the 4 cardinal points in the Stolen Legacy book. Oh, here it is. Here it is. In Stolen Legacy. There's 4 qualities of 4 elements and everything. I knew I was going to find it. All right. Okay. In Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. We did a series on this. Check it out. It's really good. But yeah, there are 4 qualities and 4 elements. The history of following the ancient theory of the 4 qualities and elements provide the world with the evidence of the Egyptian origin of the doctrines of opposites and contraries, change and transmutation. The life and function of the universe is due to either of 4 elements: fire or water or earth or air. Yep. He breaks it down. Yeah. And it's page 80. If you have the book. So yeah, so this is another good one. All right. Yeah. But all right, fam. If there's nothing else, you listen to King Cam Ujumbe Podcast. Once again, I really appreciate it. Next week we are going to talk about the twins, the twin. You just yeah, it is a great book. I'm telling you. Yeah. And I got a question. Do you guys think we need to revisit this? Do you think we need to revisit Stolen Legacy? Because do you think we have to spin the block on this one? Because we did a series, but I know that some of the alumni and some of the new people may want us to go further than that. Is Zephyr included with Anubis with the mummy wrapping? I haven't seen it. However, Zephyr or Kephara was in the dawning or at the dawn. You see what I'm saying? In the ascension. So not in the mummification process. No. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna get back to that slide. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you that little diagram. Okay. All right. So right here, you see Zephyra or Kephara is at dawn. Okay, where remember that story when we brought down the story where Aset was trying to get the word from Ra, and through the hook about crook, she finessed that information. He said, he basically broke it down. He said this. He said, I am He told her, I am Kefera at dawn, I'm Ra at the midday, and I Ra Atum at sunset, and I'm Amun Ra at midnight. So Zepera, or a library without borders, Kala, is birth. Is at the very beginning. So in the spiritual sense, or in the resurrection sense, that is Kefera. Okay, creation, being created, being renewed. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It does. It does cover the heart. It does cover the heart. It does. It does. You are correct. But as far as I don't see pictures of Zephyr with Anubis. But you are correct. There are a lot of kafera at the heart. Once it is all done, they place it there. Why? Because they're hoping that the ancestors being renewed and recreated into the duat. Yeah, 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 yeah. No problem. Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, and the thing is, it's sometimes we take everything literal, but there's a lot of duality. There's a lot of symbolism in comedic science, and we can't cover everything. I can't even tell you. I don't know everything. You see what I'm saying? But what I do know is that there is some information out there that I like to read and find out myself, right? But yeah, get a book, get one. I'm a big advocate for good, solid books. You see what I'm saying? There are some. Go with the elders first. If you ever want to know something, here's another. If you ever want to know something, if you ever want to find a starting point, everyone find a starting point. Dr. Ben, Black man of the Nile family. This guy, he was a real life college professor at Cornell University. And these Zungu, the Tuba, would turn around and say this was pseudoscience when he taught at their university, bro. So yeah, I would do it. I would give it. What's going on? One was Africa. Shout out to brother Isu. He is one of our Ujumbe members. He's in the mix. What's going on? Yeah, but yeah, I would start there. I would start with Dr. Dr. Ben, and of course the book coming for by day, and then go from there. But you come up with your own thoughts and your own ideas, and we can have this conversation, right? Here's another one: sacred science. This is heavy. The idea about the temple being part of a person or connected to a person, right, came from this book or came from this author, and how the book of Gates and everything broke it down. Okay, and how the book of Gates was a journey. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, get a good book. I'm a strong advocate for. Oh, let me see. Library Without Borders speaketh. So I'm curious to see how much you can dig out when it comes to Nigerian culture with Kemetic culture, and possibly triangular link between Congo, Nigeria, and Kemetic culture. See, Library Without Borders is trying. Look, school just started. You trying to give it a work. Wait a minute. Yeah, if you want, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna make this a concerted effort. You understand me? Yeah, we're gonna make that connection. We're gonna make that happen. Library Without Borders is making a humble request. You see what I'm saying? To make that triangulated effort to connect all three. And so yeah, this is gonna be great. Sister Auntie Linda said, my brother left that book with me when he left to Morocco, and I decided to start reading it. It is a good read. It is. Yeah. It said, I'm trying you. I know. Yeah, you trying. Because school just started. I'm trying to get a little bit of September off, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it. we're gonna see all that. Yeah, we're gonna see all that. Yeah. And I really appreciate. Thank you, One Voice Africa. Thank you. He is a esteemed one of our esteemed members. He's awesome. I really appreciate him. He's very supportive, and he's an Ujumbe member. He's very helpful and insightful. He also has a podcast, by the way. Shout out to him. He does more of the modern era. He does Pan-Africanism, and he does it well. Check out One Voice Africa. They're awesome. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, and don't forget, Yahya Shabaka will be here hopefully next week or the week after next. I'll let you guys know, but yeah, he's gonna talk about the Carnival, and Library Without Borders is trying to get us be on this thing on this live for like 2 hours and some change. We're gonna make it a day. We're gonna make that happen. Because in one of my podcasts I did allude to it, because remember there was once a Yellow Nile that extended towards Lake Chad, right? And so what happened is a lot of migration went westward, even before Greco-Roman imperialism, right? So a lot of that Kemetic culture and everything went westward, we gotta remember that Congo and Uganda is the great grandmother of Ethiopian Kush in there. We gotta yield the floor to that. No, it's not the exact same. It is not. It's not the exact same, but we see some lines of similarity there. Be it language, be it practices and things like that. Yeah. 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 Shout out to One Voice Africa. Shout out to Brother Issa. He's awesome. And so yeah. But yeah, we're gonna make that happen. There's been people, especially our new people, the new Ujumbe family, that want to know. And I'll be more than glad to have the conversation, because it's very important that we do. Because if not, what we will have is a lot of people that want to know but are not finding out by people that are trained to teach. Yours truly, I am a teacher for real, for real. In America, I am a history or social studies teacher. I'm certified to teach, and I'm also a department chair. And so I design curriculum and mentor new teachers. What's happening is that what I'm seeing is a lot of people are throwing out a lot of information, but they're not teaching. So, or they don't have that pacing to where people can understand it. Just throwing a lot of information, a lot of sound bites, and you just catch it. No, I want the people to learn. So that's the reason why I'm taking my time. And Sister Haynes she encouraged me to take my time and slow down, because I would go 1,000 miles an hour. But I'm here to share, and here's the thing: the way I teach here is very similar to how I teach my high schoolers, except without all the graphics and everything. But yeah, what you get here is what my high schoolers would get. You see? And so but it is a joy to do. And we're almost, and get this, I know it's not a big deal to some of you, but this podcast has been in existence for 5 years, but we just got active seriously a year ago. And you guys, all of you have, let me get out this. All of you have been a blessing to us, and we're almost at that 4,000 watch hour threshold or whatever for YouTube monetization. And so it's something for you guys to put up with me. And sometimes, like Baba Yakia, he would correct me when I'm wrong, and that's fine, or hold me accountable. Okay, Miss Blue. And so I really appreciate it. And you guys are actually telling me what you guys want and what to do. You know, this is your podcast also. You see what I'm saying? This is not me. This is not me by myself. This is our podcast. You see what I'm saying? Ujumbe means message, right? And so, yeah. But is there anything else? Anything else? Oh yeah, but the Twin Sphinx though, Yeah, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that next week. We're gonna get into that. Are there anything else? Any other questions or concerns before I turn you loose? Oh, I thought about this. Now, remember our Queen of the South series, right? Which was amazing. I'm thinking about doing something special for Queen Qebehsenuef's father. What do y'all think? Because that was great. Queens of the South series was awesome, but Amenemhat the third had 42 years of knowledge and information. I need to know. What do y'all think? Do you think we need to have a conversation about her father? Yeah, because he built the Black Pyramid, and he dealt with the esoteric science and alchemy and everything also. So, let me know. But now, if there's nothing else, I don't want to hold you. But yeah, if you're interested in checking out the Book of Gates, I got that. There'll be a video there, and if you want to check out the Hidden Code, if you want to catch up on the playlist, let us. I got that too. But if there's nothing else, I really appreciate you guys. You listen to King Cam Ujumbe Podcast. Ujumbe means message, and today's message is Guardians of the Afterlife, and the bonus, Anubis Speaks. All right. And I will talk to you later.